Guys, there is too much drama going on today, and right now we're just gonna focus on Kevin McCarthy because, dude, the guy is blowing it and blowing it badly, okay? And therefore, the Republican Party, who he supposedly represents right now, is blowing it as well because he is the leader, kind of the minority leader. I don't know at this point, okay? So let's take a deep dive and see what exactly is going on because this is just a disaster. If you're a Democrat, you're screaming hallelujah. If you're a Republican, you're just mad at other Republicans right now because this is just an internal fight that's not going to go away. So let's watch this first little clip from Fox News. This is Kevin McCarthy not getting the first vote. Okay, so this is what they're talking about here.
Pelosi and Schumer were always on the same page. And until Republicans start to function like that, can you ever expect to effectively govern?
No, I think we have to start working together. I mean, I look at states like Arizona right now. I mean, look at Arizona. The top vote getter in the whole state was a Republican. She got 1,375,000 votes. And the other Republicans that were running in that state, you know who didn't vote for them? Republicans. So if we're so hateful towards each other that other Republicans won't vote for us, then we're doing exactly what the Democrats want, right? And so this school.
Funny little tidbit here. I just noticed that this video was posted by Brian Stelter. This guy got fired from CNN for being too, well, just actually lying and being not a good person on air. But I do think it's kind of funny. But guys, let's get back into it. I don't like Brian Stelter. I'm not liberal. I'm not Republican, but I just hate that guy.
Scorched earth. I'm going to take on every other Republican instead of focusing on who voters want us to focus on, which is the Democrats. Remember, the Democrats who are leaving our border open. They're the ones who kept our kids out of school. They're the ones who have allowed crime to run rampant in our streets. That is the Democrat Party. So as long as we're fighting each other, we are not keeping our eye on the prize. And I think we have to get the speakership settled, and we have to go forward if we're going to be successful in 2024 as a united party. And right now, this exemplifies exactly what the Democrats want to see from our.
Dude, if I was a Democrat in that room right now, I'd be snickering and laughing and just doing a little bit of hoo-haws because this is embarrassing. Now, to be fair, let's see what they're talking about on the other side because there are the Republicans that are not voting for him. They have a valid reason, at least in my opinion here, kind of going back to that swamp and stuff like that. So let's listen to why these Republicans are not voting for Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House, okay?
And first of all, I wouldn't say I've been leading the charge against McCarthy. I've been leading the charge for my constituents who are tired of the swamp continuing to do what the swamp does. And we saw it on full display with the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill. Now, my friend Jim Jordan, who just nominated Kevin McCarthy, who I also consider a friend, said that, hey, we need to put the people in place to stop bills like that. But that's the problem. Everybody's out there saying, oh, we got everything we wanted. We got rules changes. Let me tell you something. We have no way to enforce those rules changes. The Speaker-elect has a history of voting with Democrats and voting with the minority against the majority Republicans over the last decade. He's been Speaker or in the leadership of Republicans since 2009. During that time, the debt has gone from 11 trillion to 32 trillion. In other words, we want to be able to have a check against the swamp. We made good faith changes. We worked hard to get them, but we needed a little bit more in order to assure that we have the power to actually stop the swamp from rolling over the American people who are sick of bills that spend money we don't have, are sick of open borders, are sick of empowering the bureaucrats to go after them, and we're sick and tired of a Congress that's not doing its job. So this is about changing this town. I wasn't sent here for second place. I was sent here to get the job done, and we need the leadership and the tools to do it.
Damn, I mean, that actually resonates with me a little bit. And it reminds me, if you remember when Nancy Pelosi was in charge, let me put myself up here on the big screen because I do think this is important. You saw a lot of the liberals like the Squad, AOC, Dreyer Paul. You saw them go up against Nancy Pelosi. But what did Nancy Pelosi do? She swatted them away like flies. And therefore, what a lot of their constituents wanted, it never actually came up at all or was ever discussed. So I think what Republicans are trying to do, or these few Republicans, are trying to do that same thing to Kevin McCarthy, but I think they're holding stronger. A lot of times when we think about Democrats or Republicans, we tend to think about some of the larger policy issues instead of just like the day-to-day stuff that gets done in Congress. Well, if you guys understand kind of what's been happening, both under Republicans and under Democrats over the past couple of decades, the debt has gone up. We're probably going to go bankrupt at some point, and it's just going to be a disaster for the economy, kind of leading into probably a second depression, you know. But we don't know exactly when that's going to happen, of course. However, I'm kind of sympathetic to what this guy is trying to do. If I was a senator or a congressman out there and my constituent said, hey, I want to stop raising the debt limit, I want to stop wasting money on all this stupid stuff we're wasting money on, right? If you, at a certain point, how much are you going to compromise? These guys have probably compromised a little bit, but maybe not as much as the moderates would like. But it seems like to me at this point, Kevin McCarthy probably won't be speaker. If these guys don't back down, somebody else is going to be speaker. This means that if they do a hard line approach against Biden, Democrats are going to have to give more here in order to get some of that stuff they want to get passed ahead of 2024, ahead of the possible rematch between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, which seems to be the way right now. Although if Trump keeps to slide in the polls, which he currently is, you may see somebody up there like DeSantis versus Biden, which could be a totally different dynamic right now. But guys, I want you guys to tell me what you guys' thoughts are about this. Do you guys think Kevin McCarthy should be speaker, should not? Right now, I'm kind of thinking like they're going against the status quo. Whether you guys are far left or far right, or you guys sympathize with those guys, right? I sympathize with both, kind of weird in a weird way. They are going against the status quo that's been really just fucking up the entire country so far. But let me know what you guys think. Are you more for the status quo, the day-to-day stuff? Because, many people are still thriving in the status quo. Or are you guys looking for some big change, like stop spending so much money? That's a big change. That's a big, big change. We haven't been able to do it. That's a big change. Or are you looking for something like a universal health care or no immigration, open immigration? Let me know, because those are the opposite sides right now. And obviously, Democrats have their act together because they're in the minority. It's a lot easier to do this in the minority. For the majority, though, Kevin McCarthy is just not able to persuade these guys, or maybe these guys are just listening to their constituents and say, hey, we don't want Kevin McCarthy, therefore their vote will not go to Kevin McCarthy. Regardless, it's just going to be one gigantic episode, like a circus almost.